Alright, welcome back for more Fake Grand Order. This video is not going to be live streamed. This is just the off session of recording myself. Apparently, Ordeal Prologue just came out by tonight. That is January 30th at 8 p.m. PST, just came out of nowhere. And also along with 22 million downloads campaign just by now. Yeah. I was expecting it to be like probably first week of February or second week of February, around that estimate when upon the Ordeal Prologue, but it just dropped out by now. And that's only part 1 session of Prologue. The part 2 section, it's probably will be releasing around in, I think, near the end of May or beginning of June. By the looks of that, the JP contents of that the part 2 session was released in June 7, 2023. So the part 2 section, my estimate guess, is around in near end of May or beginning of June. Correct me if I'm wrong, or whatever you want. You can blame me all you want. I don't know anything about the Ordeal Prologue, so let's jump right in it and just make a quick read. There's no fight, no rewards, just storyline. We're approaching the Antarctic Circle. Transmeteus tests predict no danger today. That means we can relax and not worry about enemy interference, at least until we reach Chaldea base. Still, at least remain alert as we prepare for arrival. So, this is it.
First, there's something I would like to say. This is a separate matter from Chaldeas, which we now know to be the foreign planet. My analysis of Test Subject E is complete. Would you like to hear my report, Commander Gordov?
Oh, right. We still had that issue to deal with, too. Frankly, I'm well past my limit for crazy revelations, but not hearing you out certainly won't help matters. Very well, you may give your report. Get on with it, then.
Then I will begin with the data I was able to analyze. I can now confirm that the mysterious laboratory outfield agents Subras, Mash, and Kadak infiltrated was in fact a research facility that also existed in our world. As many know, there is a facility in Nevada's Area 51 dedicated to the clandestine study of UFOs and extraterrestrials. While our field agents were not able to verify the exact equipment used at the facility during their visit, Transmeteus 2 was able to use the data Mash's Ortonax recorded it to confirm that the facility was a 99% match for Area 51. This means Test Subject E was being kept at a facility from proper human history.
Yeah, that tracks. That place might have been in the middle of a huge singularity, but it was too out of place as a building. It makes sense that the singularity spawned from that operating room.
Yeah, I agree. It also ties into our theory on who the master behind that singularity was. That is, the one who summoned a whole mess of servants. The way I see it, that room was the only part of that singularity that belonged to proper human history. Or at least, it belonged to a celestial body that was as close to proper human history as it could possibly be. I might even go so far as to theorize that the facility itself was located in Chaldeas, Nevada. You think that facility was inside Chaldeas? Then, is that why that corridor looked like it was in outer space? Because we were actually traveling between planets? That's my guess, yes. Displacement magecraft is absolutely a thing. For example, let's say we have 2 Gordies here, Gordie A and Gordie B. Assuming they have the exact same composition and volume of data, displacement magecraft would let us swap them out instantly, no matter how far apart they might be. And the reason for that is, of course, because they're completely indistinguishable to a third party. Only the Gordies being displaced would know they've been swapped. Heck, in some circumstances, even they might be none the wiser. When something supernatural occurs without having a noticeable impact on the world,
That's when you know Magecraft has done its job really well.
Indeed. This particular kind of Magecraft is theoretically possible, but it would be exponentially more difficult on a larger target. If memory serves, I believe I heard an old mage family unaffiliated with the clock tower was studying it. Also, please don't use me as an example from now on. The idea of waking up one day and having A or B appended to my name is the sort of thing that keeps me up at night.
Displacement. Swapping out. Could that have been what bleached Earth in an instant? You think Chaldea's surface and Earth's surface were swapped out?
Chaldea's is obviously much smaller than Earth, but since it contains a copy of the Earth soul, that does essentially make it identical. Since Chaldea's volume of data and soul composition are the same as Earth's, their surfaces could well be swapped, regardless of the difference in size. Honestly, I was always more puzzled by how Earth was bleached than how it looked after the fact. I mean, it's just not possible to instantly destroy the entire civilization on the planet's surface without harming the planet itself. So you're saying, if they were just swapping the planet's surface out for one that was already bleached, that would be a different story? Right, which would also mean that our world, the original Earth, is still safe and sound on Chaldea's. So if you can restore Chaldea's and the Earth's relationship to the way it was, then your future will continue on the path it was meant to.
So, everything can go back to the way it was, huh? Human history can pick right up where it left off in 2019 when Earth was wiped clean. But hang on, Chaldea's is supposed to be simulating Earth 100 years from now. And that would mean the lab we saw was from 2119. But then that,
Everything about that lab, including technology, seemed identical to what we would expect to see in 2019. So you are saying it is too old to be from 2119, right? I found that strange as well. I determined rather quickly that it was on Chaldea's, but it certainly did not look anything like cutting-edge technology from 2119. And yet, the data we have on test subject E clearly shows that it died a few days ago. Since the place it occupied was on Chaldea, that would mean it died in the year 2119. But the level of technology in that lab is the same as that of 2019. I was, for a time, concerned that I would not be able to explain this discrepancy.
what if they just weren't able to update the equipment there?
Precisely. Difficult as it may be to be believed, because one wonders why something so ridiculous could happen that is indeed what did happen. Given the gap of 100 years, the only sensible explanation is that the equipment could not be updated.
Huh? Is that even possible?
Most likely, this is owed to extenuating circumstances of some kind. For example, they may have had budget or personal shortfalls. In proper human history, Area 51 secret facility was shut down around 2001, and their research budget was drastically reduced. So the most likely explanation is that the same facility on Chaldea's ran into the same kind of trouble. Well, that's definitely one possibility. Securing an adequate budget is one of the biggest and most important issues facing research efforts. But there's one big difference between the lab on Earth and the one on Chaldea's, test subject E. The fact that an alien life form existed in the lab on Chaldea's means Chaldea's version of Earth must have achieved something proper human history hasn't. In which case, I'd expect there to be plenty of funds made available for this lab in the national budget. Which means there must have been some sort of trouble. That need not detain us at the moment, so let us move on. The corpse he found in the operating room had the exact same biological composition as us. Despite this, Trismegistus too did not recognize that corpse as a human from Earth. No, it is not that it did not. It could not. Even with the same data values, there was something different about it. And because of that error in logic, Trismegistus too was unable to come to a final conclusion on test subject E. Instead, it just got stuck on a phase wherein it labeled the object as human. So once I set that conclusion aside and focused exclusively on analyzing the situation, a great deal of information became clear very quickly. Data point 1. Test subject E is a human from the version of Earth in Chaldeas. Data point 2. If the bleached Earth phenomenon is actually Chaldeas' surface, then Chaldeas' humans have all died out. Data point 3. The equipment used in the lab on Chaldeas' Earth were antiques. And all of the technology developed between 2019 and 2119 is no longer functional. This can be assumed from remnants of buildings still extant on the bleached Earth. Any machinery that could operate on such a world would have to be at least 100 years old. Simple combustion engines like those used in motorcycles will also likely still function. So, those are the facts I was able to ascertain from test subject E. If we take those into consideration when asking why test subject E became a master, why they summoned so many servants, and why they spawned such a huge singularity, everything points to
Revenge. The Chaldeas Earth was bleached. We may not know how it happened, but we can figure out why. Chaldeas' Earth was bleached so its surface could be swapped out with our Earth's. Test Subject E knew that. That's why they gave their servants those urges. They wanted to take revenge on proper human history for destroying their world. Test Subject E was aware they were the last member of Chaldeas' humankind. That made them the sole representative of all of Chaldeas' human life. In fact, that's the only explanation for how they were able to summon that many servants. Otherwise, there's just no way one person could possibly summon so many. It must have been the collective will of every human who died on Chaldeas that made summoning servants in such numbers possible. That also explains why they had so many command spells. They must have been all the collected command spells from every human on Chaldeas with master potential. And that would mean that corpse was a nameless, regular person who found himself responsible for the future of all humankind, just like you, Silverchaos.
Wait, hold on just a damn minute. I do feel bad for what happened to Chaldeas' Earth, but there was nothing we could have done about it. We have nothing to feel actual guilt for there. More importantly, though, I'd like to get the timeline straight. According to the report I read, when SilverChaos first came in Chaldea in 2017, Chaldeas was already at a point where the future of humankind could not be observed. So is that when Chaldeas was first bleached?
No, it wasn't. The light of civilization had died out here and there because of Singularity F. But other than that, Chaldeas' surface was the same as Earth's. It was Sheba that said it couldn't preserve human history or observe it beyond 2018. We can all vouch for that. And honestly, given what happened with the incineration of humanity and the bleached Earth phenomenon, it makes sense that Sheba would come to that conclusion. So Chaldeas' Earth must have been bleached sometime after the incineration of humanity was resolved. Though, that will also mean Chaldeas was deceiving us in 2019, back when we were undergoing special processing.
So Chaldeas was operating normally until the Rayship experiment in 2017. Or, I suppose, it had yet to reveal its true villainous nature. Which would mean it didn't foresee Solomon's incineration of humanities. In fact, if it hadn't been for that, this plan would probably have been put into action at the end of 2018. It's certainly safe to say that Solomon, well, guess he has his machinations through up Marie-Spiri's schedule. So perhaps, if not for Singularity F, the surfaces of Chaldeas and Earth will have swapped places sooner.
Good point. The explosion in the command room definitely wasn't part of Director Marie-Spiri's plan. So what happened afterward is another part of what led to our present, very strange circumstances. Something must have gone awry when Lev dropped Olga Marie into Chaldeas. That is all the information I can tell you about Test Subject E. Fortunately, this analysis has revealed at least 80% of Chaldeas' intended purpose. We now know that it was always meant to swap its Earth, that is, its human history for ours, and that it was the intention of Chaldeas' creator, former director of Chaldea, Murray Spirit Animal Spear, that this happened. Of course, that leads us to the next problem we need to consider. Why would he do such a thing?
Yeah, what would he hope to gain from bleaching Earth?
I completely agree. Neither I nor Trust Michitas 2 were able to arrive at an answer to this query. Giashia wanted to create undying life and a planet without death. Kurstaria wanted to evolve all of humankind. David said he wanted to destroy Chaldeus to salvage humankind's reputation, even if it meant destroying Earth along with it. I may not agree with their reasons for doing what they did, but I can still understand them. But bleaching all of Earth? That I cannot understand. I cannot see what the ultimate goal could be.
Maybe he was just fed up with humanity and wanted to cleanse the Earth by getting rid of it?
No, Murray Spirit wasn't that kind of person. He wasn't a nihilist or even pessimist. He was a good mage who loved seeing humans prosper and who wanted to push our collective knowledge even further.
I bet. If he wasn't a generally good guy, King Solomon would never have answered his summons during the Fuyuki Holy Grail War. So it's safe to say Murray Spirit was definitely a good mage. The problem is, there are quite a few shades of good. Whatever Murray Spirit's goal was, it must have been something extreme enough that we'd never think of it, like David's.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, we're talking about a clock tower lord here. There's no telling how much his vision of prospering might have differed from ours.
Yeah, so right now, all we figured out is Chaldeus' current condition, and the fact that our Earth is safe. But we should find all the answers once we get to Antarctica. How much farther, Nemo? Funny you should ask. We're actually just about to enter Antarctic Circle now. I'm not seeing any obstructions. We should reach Chaldea base in... Uh-oh. Whoa, dead ahead. Ball reverse. Hard to port. All hands. Brace for impact.
What just happened?
Sheba did not even warn us. I detect no hostile signal or gravity field. And yet, we are still being repelled. What kind of air pressure could possibly keep the Stormboarder away?
Damn it! I should have known it wouldn't be that simple. Is it the foreign god? No. Is it Chaldeus itself? What's going on, Technical Advisor?
I don't know. There's nothing unusual going on in Antarctica at all. This barrier sprung up on its own. No, it didn't. Everyone, I think this is a wall of humanity. Huh? I recognize this defense. It's the same force that powers Sir Galahad's noble phantasm, Lord Camelot. That means the preservation of humanity itself is protecting the Antarctic. I've done a lap around the Antarctic and that wall surrounds the entire region. We can't get past it with the Stormboarder's dimension-piercing drill or the Shadowboarder's zero sail. I don't know why, but all our attempts are being repelled. Nothing works. I've never seen a wall like this before. Because it's entirely formless, we have no way to break through. Every special navigational technique we try fails. I have no idea how it works or why it's doing this.
Unbelievable. Our destination is right in front of us, and we can't even get near it. Technical Advisor, Eltna, isn't there anything we can do? Surely you must have at least analyzed it by now, right?
I am sorry, but I am completely bewildered too. What is this? Some kind of prank? Right? The thing pops up whenever we approach, then disappears when we move away. It's completely denying us any way to get through, but it's also barely damaging the ship at all. I can't even figure out what's powering it. I think it preferred the storm walls.
So even you two can't figure anything out. Of course this was going to happen. Now that the 7 lost belts are gone, Chaldeus has become the foundation of human history, the celestial spear for the preservation of humanity. That wall isn't meant to keep Chaldeus safe. It's a checkpoint intended to keep foreign elements out. The Antarctic is not what is keeping you out. Proper human history itself is rejecting you.
That voice.
It's coming up. It's coming from up on the deck.
That's Romani Arkaman. Marine, try to record what he's saying. Roger, pointing camera his way now.
This is the domain of proper human history. None of you can enter it as you are now. I'll admit, even I didn't foresee this outcome. Over the course of this war, you've handled far too many things that simply do not exist in proper human history. Rulers, alter egos, avengers, all manner of servants that don't belong to 7 classes. Now, after you have spent so much time abusing these classes which should not exist, proper human history regards you as foreign elements. Until you correct this imbalance, you'll never be able to set foot near Chaldeas. You cannot take those things. No, that's not right. You cannot take those servants with you into the time beyond 2019, not with your current understanding. So, Ross, the gears within you no longer mesh. Why do these classes exist when, by rights, they shouldn't? What place do these weapons have in human history? Once you understand and accept the answers to those questions, you will be foreign elements no longer. Turn your ship around, Novum Chaldea. There are places where you can correct the imbalances and atone for the sins you unknowingly committed. That is the duty you must fulfill now. Your ordeal call. Once you have settled for it. No, 3 imbalances, then the celestial sphere will see the light of day. You are sure to face partings as you walk this path. Be certain you are prepared for this.
Transmitchus' 2 has arrived at a conclusion. It looks like that mysterious figure was telling the truth. The barrier around Antarctica is a kind of self-purification mechanism, and we are the reason it is being created. As much as it pains me to say this, it seems that humanity currently sees us as criminals. Apparently, we ourselves are the ones preventing us from setting foot in the pure land of Antarctica. Pure land of Antarctica? I knew it. This wasn't an attack. It was an alarm. Extra classes are meant for humans to handle. Extra classes are typically too much for humans to handle, and given all the servants from extra classes we've been using, of course humanity would reject us.
I guess we've done the equivalent of using weapons banned by international law like they were going out of style. We can't deny we're guilty as sorry, probably wasn't the best example I could have picked.
It's okay, Mounier. I understand. Thank you. Still, facts are facts. If Chaldeas was made with ill intentions, even secretly, then of course someone will have to be held to account for the demi-servant experiments. I accept that, and I will let my own deeds demonstrate the rightness or wrongness of my creation. Even if creating me was wrong, there are still so many futures for us to choose from. Fortunately, I was lucky enough to receive the power to protect. Whatever you have to say about me, I'm certain this power isn't wrong, isn't evil.
So you knew all along, huh, Mash?
Well said, Kyrie Light. But should anyone ever learn of this incident, it's clear you will all face serious consequences. Is there anything I can do for them? Anything to assure these fools will be rewarded instead of punished?
It's true. Director Marie Spruce's Chaldea was evil. But it's equally true that what came from it was undeniably good. The accident that happened during the 2017 race ship experiment, along with everything that came afterwards, put an end to Director Marie Spruce's Chaldea forever. Not just physically, but in spirit too. The only remaining staff were a dozen or so employees, all unaware of Director Marie Spruce's intentions. And Romani Arkaman, who felt a strong responsibility to stop the incineration of humanity, and that meant Chaldea became an entirely different organization than its founder intended it. It became a place to preserve not one man's vision for the future, but a future imagined by many different people. and that's never going to change. Not now, not ever. If there's something wrong with us, we'll just fix it with the same courage and wisdom that's brought us this far. That man said we have an imbalance, right? Then there must be points in time affected by this discrepancy. Some distortion similar to singularities. So we're going to find them, prove our innocence, and then come back to the Antarctic. Hard to starboard, huh? As captain, I have no objections. Besides, I was just thinking we could stand to go back to some of the places we saw standing buildings and resupply.
Very well. As I said earlier, I never expected this to be quite so simple. Do as you see fit. I can stick around a little longer.
Speaking as an alchemist from the Atlas Institute, it hurts to hear that we are being treated like criminals because we have been relying on certain kinds of weapons. This would mean a third of this situation is my fault, correct? So I, of course, have no objections either. Trust me, Jesus 2 and I will continue to help you all on your expedition. Well, it looks like our goalpost has been moved a little further back than we were expecting. How are you feeling about all of this so fast? How are you feeling about all this so fast?
Of course, I wanted to keep going.
Alright, then let's start exploring the world. We can think of this as getting all our ducks in a row before our showdown with Chaldeans. In fact, everything has worked out as desired, including the opportunity to resupply. That being said, we still have no idea what we'll find out there. We'll have to deal with the imbalances we've racked up over the course of our battles to date, and we'll have to face scrutiny of our mistakes from humanity itself. I hate to boil that guy's wording, but I can't deny it's a fitting name for this mission. Operation Ordeal call it is. Once we overcome these new trials, we'll reach our final destination.
の異分体を切除したことでカルデアスは人類史の基礎人理保障研究となった。ノーム・カルデアは反人類史にはないものを扱いすぎたせいでそこから弾かれている。この歪みを補正しない限りカルデアスには近づけない。自らの潔白を証明する。かつてない未知の探索であるのは間違いない。これまでの戦いで積み上がったとされる歪み、我々が向き合わなくてはならない人理の咎。本来ならありえないクラスとの開口。ルーラー、アベンジャー、アルターエゴ、果たすべき生産。一つ、秩序を担う裁定者。うつろな罪を自覚する巡礼の旅。一つ、永劫の復讐者。全てを焼き尽くす恩衆の炎。一つ、自我から分かたれし別人格。己の内側に相対する。作戦名オーディールコール。この試練を乗り越えた先が我々の終着だ。なーに、私たちに問題があるなら今まで通り知恵と勇気で解決するだけさ。
Okay. Yeah. Ordeal call. The part 2 section, my estimate guess is around near the end of May or beginning of June. That's the end of the Ordeal call prologue. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next part of that FGO video content for live stream. So take care and have a good night.